Ever wondered why Zheng He's voyages are considered a footnote in history? You may think his expeditions were all about trade, but they were actually a carefully orchestrated power move that changed the course of the world forever. Zheng He's maritime expeditions, which took place during the early 15th century, represent a remarkable chapter in the history of exploration and trade. As a Chinese admiral and diplomat, Zheng He led 7 grand voyages across the Indian Ocean, reaching as far as the east coast of Africa. These expeditions were commissioned by the Ming Dynasty, a time when China was eager to showcase its power and establish its presence on the global stage. The historical context of these voyages is crucial. They occurred during a period of significant technological advancement in shipbuilding and navigation, allowing He to command a fleet of massive treasure ships, some of the largest of their run. This documentary aims to delve into the intriguing world of Zheng He's journeys, exploring not just the routes he took but also the cultural exchanges and diplomatic relationships he fostered along the way. Understanding Zheng He's impact is essential, as his voyages played a pivotal role in shaping global trade networks and diplomatic ties between China and various regions, including Southeast Asia, the Middle East, and Africa. By examining these expeditions, we can appreciate how they contributed to the flow of goods, ideas, and cultures across continents, laying the groundwork for future interactions in an increasingly interconnected world. Join us as we uncover the legacy of Zheng He and the profound significance of his maritime adventures. Zheng He, originally named Ma He, was born in 1371 in the small town of Kunyang, located in present-day Yunnan Province, China. He hailed from a Muslim family, which played a significant role in shaping his worldview. At a young age, his life took a dramatic turn when he was captured by Ming forces during a military campaign against the Mongols. This event led to his relocation to the imperial court, where he was given the name Zheng He and became a eunuch, a position that would ultimately grant him access to the highest levels of Chinese society. Zheng He's early experiences in the court were pivotal in shaping his future as an explorer. He received an education that included not only the Confucian classics but also knowledge of navigation, astronomy, and foreign cultures. This diverse background equipped him with the skills and insights necessary for his later maritime expeditions. His exposure to various cultures and languages fostered a deep curiosity about the world beyond China's borders. Key influences in Zheng He's life included the Ming Dynasty's desire to expand its influence in trade networks. The Emperor Yongle recognized the potential of maritime exploration to enhance China's prestige and economic power. Motivated by a sense of duty and adventure, Zheng He embraced this vision, ultimately leading him to command a fleet that would traverse vast oceans and establish diplomatic ties with distant lands. His early life experiences laid the foundation for his remarkable journey as one of history's greatest explorers. Zheng He's 7 treasure voyages, spanning from 1405 to 1433, were monumental in both scale and ambition. The first voyage set sail in 1405, with Zheng He commanding a fleet of approximately 317 ships, including the legendary treasure ships that could reach lengths of over 400 feet. These expeditions took him to various destinations, including Southeast Asia, India, the Arabian Peninsula, and the east coast of Africa, with notable stops in places like Malacca, Ceylon, and the Swahili coast. The primary objectives of these voyages were multifaceted, focusing on trade, diplomacy, and the projection of Chinese power. He aimed to establish and strengthen trade routes, facilitating the exchange of goods such as silk, porcelain, and spices, in return for precious resources like gold, ivory, and exotic animals. Additionally, these expeditions served to assert Ming China's dominance in the region, showcasing its naval prowess and fostering diplomatic relationships with foreign kingdoms. The scale and grandeur of Zheng He's fleet were unprecedented for the time. His armada not only included massive treasure ships, but also smaller vessels designed for various purposes, such as transporting troops and supplies. This impressive fleet allowed Zheng He to navigate vast distances, engage in large-scale trade, and conduct diplomatic missions, leaving a lasting impact on the maritime history of the era. Through these voyages, Zheng He not only expanded China's influence but also facilitated cultural exchanges that enriched both China and the regions he visited. Zheng He's voyages were not merely about trade and diplomacy. They were also significant catalysts for cultural exchanges between China and the various nations he visited. As Zheng He and his fleet traveled across the Indian Ocean, they facilitated the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultural practices that enriched both Chinese and foreign societies. The arrival of Chinese silk, porcelain, and tea in places like Southeast Asia and the Middle East introduced new tastes and preferences, while exotic goods such as spices, ivory, and precious stones made their way back to China, enhancing its market and lifestyles. The impact of these exchanges was profound. In China, the influx of foreign ideas and goods led to a greater appreciation for diversity and innovation. For instance, the introduction of new agricultural practices and crops, such as the cultivation of sugarcane and various fruits, diversified Chinese agriculture and cuisine. Conversely, foreign societies were influenced by Chinese customs, art, and technology, leading to the adoption of practices such as the use of Chinese ceramics and the appreciation of Confucian ideals in regions like Southeast Asia. These specific cultural cultural artifacts that emerged from these interactions include the intricate designs of porcelain that blended Chinese techniques with local styles, as well as the spread of Islamic art and architecture influenced by Chinese aesthetics. Additionally, the mingling of musical traditions led to the creation of hybrid forms of music that incorporated elements from both Chinese and foreign cultures. Overall, Zheng He's voyages fostered a rich tapestry of cultural interactions that left a lasting legacy on the societies involved. Zheng He's expeditions had a transformative influence on global trade networks during the early 15th century. By establishing and reinforcing trade routes across the Indian Ocean, Zheng He connected China with a multitude of regions, including Southeast Asia, the Middle East, and East Africa. These routes became vital arteries for commerce, facilitating the exchange of not only goods but also ideas and cultures. The significance of these trade routes cannot be overstated. They allowed for the flow of valuable commodities such as spices, textiles, and precious metals, which enriched the economies of both China and its trading partners. Zheng He's voyages directly contributed to China's economic power by enhancing its status as a dominant player in international trade. The Ming Dynasty capitalized on the wealth generated from these exchanges, leading to increased investment in infrastructure and maritime capabilities. The influx of foreign goods and resources stimulated local industries, creating a thriving economy that positioned China as a central hub in the global marketplace. The long-term effects of Zheng He's expeditions on international trade dynamics were profound. They laid the groundwork for a more interconnected world where trade networks expanded beyond regional boundaries. The relationships forged during these voyages fostered a spirit of cooperation and mutual benefit among nations, influencing trade practices for centuries to come. Ultimately, Zheng He's legacy in global trade is a testament to the power of exploration and diplomacy in shaping economic landscapes, paving the way for future maritime endeavors and international commerce. Zheng He's voyages were not only significant for their economic impact, but also for the diplomatic missions that fostered relationships with foreign leaders. As he traveled to various regions, Zheng He acted as an envoy of the Ming Dynasty, promoting China's interests while establishing connections with local rulers. His approach was characterized by respect and cultural exchange, which helped to build trust and goodwill between nations. By presenting gifts and showcasing Chinese culture, Zheng He endeared himself to foreign leaders, laying the groundwork for lasting diplomatic ties. By engaging in dialogue and negotiation, Zheng He was able to resolve potential conflicts and create an atmosphere conducive to commerce. His efforts often resulted in mutual agreements that benefited both China and the nations he visited. For instance, in his interactions with the Sultan of Malacca, Zheng He secured trade privileges that allowed Chinese merchants to operate freely, significantly boosting trade in the region. One notable example of a treaty established through these interactions was the agreement with the Kingdom of Ceylon, modern-day Sri Lanka, where Zheng He negotiated the safe passage of Chinese ships in exchange for tribute and trade rights. Such agreements not only facilitated trade but also reinforced China's influence in the region. Through these diplomatic missions, Zheng He not only advanced China's interests but also contributed to a more interconnected and cooperative international landscape, fostering peace and prosperity across the Indian Ocean. Zheng He's voyages have left an indelible mark on history, and contemporary scholarship increasingly recognizes their significance in the broader context of maritime exploration and global trade. Historians and researchers have begun to reevaluate Zheng He's expeditions, viewing them not merely as a series of naval missions, but as pivotal events that shaped the dynamics of international relations in the 15th century. His journeys are now celebrated for their role in establishing early global trade networks and fostering cultural exchanges that resonate even today. Remembering Zheng He's contributions to maritime history is essential, as they highlight the interconnectedness of civilizations long before the age of European exploration. His expeditions exemplify how trade and diplomacy can bridge cultural divides, offering valuable lessons for contemporary society. By understanding the complexities of Zheng He's interactions with diverse cultures, we gain insight into the importance of collaboration and mutual respect in international relations. As viewers reflect on the implications of Zheng He's voyages for modern global relations, it becomes clear that his legacy extends beyond the past. In an increasingly interconnected world, the principles of diplomacy, cultural exchange, and economic cooperation that Zheng He championed remain relevant. His story encourages us to consider how we can learn from history to foster peaceful and productive relationships among nations today. By acknowledging Zheng He's impact, we not only honor his achievements but also inspire future generations to pursue understanding and collaboration in an ever-evolving global landscape. In this exploration of Zheng He's remarkable voyages, we have delved into the key themes of trade, diplomacy, and cultural exchange that defined his expeditions during the early 15th century. Zheng He's journeys not only established vital trade routes across the Indian Ocean, but also fostered diplomatic relationships with various nations, showcasing the power of exploration in promoting peace and cooperation. His legacy serves as a testament to the interconnectedness of civilizations and the profound impact that maritime exploration can have on global dynamics. As As we reflect on Zheng He's contributions, it is essential to recognize the importance of exploring lesser-known historical narratives. These stories enrich our understanding of the past and highlight the diverse influences that have shaped our world today. By uncovering these narratives, we can appreciate the complexities of history and the interconnectedness of cultures throughout time. If you enjoyed this journey into the life and legacy of Zheng He, we encourage you to engage with our content. Please subscribe to our channel for more insightful videos like this one, and share it with friends and family who might also be interested in history. Your support helps us continue to bring you engaging and educational content that uncovers the fascinating stories of our past. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to exploring more historical adventures together.